When most people think of elite level high school hockey in New England, they might think of the Catholic Conference or the Independent School League. But coming off a 2016-2017 Division I state championship, Arlington High School proves that it ranks among the best of the best in Massachusetts. I'm Joel Idelson, and this is New England Hockey Journal.
Arlington forechecking. Mike Curran centers it in front. A goal! It went in! So the Ponders have won 2-1 here over Central Catholic of Lawrence.
2017 was a dream year for the Arlington High School hockey program. In the Super 8 tournament finals at the TD Garden, the Spy Ponders became only the third public high school in over 25 years to win the Massachusetts Division 1A state title.
Winning the state championship last year, was multifold for me. I mean, there was me personally, there was Arlington hockey, and then there was my coaching staff and I who had been on the journey together.
Arlington head coach and alum John Mazzori has been coaching hockey in Massachusetts public schools for over 20 years.
In 08 in Winchester, we had a really good team, and we had gone into that tournament as the 8th seed, but we won our bracket and beat CM when they were stacked. And I thought that was the year, and we lost in the semifinals. I coached one more year in Winchester. We went to the Super 8 again, and I just thought, you'll never ever win this thing. You're a public school coach, you'll never win it.
By the time the Spy Ponders played Burlington High on a cold night at Fenway Park, the team was starting to believe that this magical story could become a reality.
As last year started to unfold, it was like, uh-oh, we're pretty good. And it just kept going and going and going. And then, you start thinking, wait a second, we're Arlington.
Arlington has long been one of the oldest and greatest high school hockey programs in Massachusetts, dating back to when they played on Spy Pond, the body of water that gave the team its name.
You'd be down at Spy Pond on sunny days at 8 a.m. in the morning and come home when the sun went down. And you had to make all good passes, because if you made a bad pass, you'd be chasing that puck all over the place. I was skating down Spy Pond. That was the first time I met Eddie Burns, and he told me, well, if you want to play hockey, you come to Arlington High School.
There have only been a handful of hockey coaches in the history of Arlington High. From 1947 to 1997, there was just one, Ed Burns. In 50 years, the hockey legend had just one losing season.
I can't help but think Mr. Burns just put that puck in the net right in overtime. There was a group of kids who could have went and played anywhere they wanted to play, prep school or stuff like that, but they stayed here and had a great experience.
I've been watching high school for 70 years, and that's the best team I've seen ever in high school.
Playing in front of that many people in the Garden was just breathtaking. I have no words for it.
Felt like half the school was there, just waiting for us to get off the bus. It was crazy. Everyone was happy, all our parents.
Going to all the high school games as a kid, always going to all the home games, and then finally being there as a freshman and then winning it all, it was just a blast.
After the break, we'll learn more about Arlington head coach John Mazzori, but first, it's the latest in hockey gear.
We're at Sports Etc. here in Arlington, Massachusetts. I'm with Paul Stanton Jr., and today we're going to talk about sticks, but specifically Bauer's 3 lines of sticks, which is the 1X, the 1S, and the 1N. What do we have here, Paul?
So the first stick we're going to look at is the 1X from Bauer. So this is Bauer's low kick point, quick release stick. So they market this towards forwards who are playing in tight spaces that want to get quick snapshots off.
Okay, hence the low kick point. How does that affect the blade here?
So the blade on a low kick point stick is going to be a little bit stiffer, so it's a little stiffer than your average stick.
It affects the way the puck is going to react off of the blade?
Correct.
Gotcha.
So you want to really get that pop off the stick to get the shot off quickly. So it's going to be a little stiffer than your average.
All right, so that's the 1X. What are we looking at next?
Next stick we're going to look at is the 1S.
Okay. All right, so we just saw the 1X. Tell me what's different about the 1S here.
So the 1S, unlike the 1X, has a higher kick point.
Okay.
So this would be ideal for a defenseman looking to take a slap shot. It has a longer load zone. So not as ideal for a quick snapshot. But if you're really looking to get into a slap shot, this would be the stick.
All right, quite opposite from the 1X then.
Correct.
All right, so we saw the 1X, which has got low kick point. We saw the 1S, which has a high kick point. I imagine the 1N's got to be somewhere in the middle.
Right, so the 1N is in between the two. So the 1N has a mid kick point on the stick. So this would be ideal really for a forward or a defenseman looking for a more accurate shot. The blade on this stick is a little bit softer than the other two, so it's a little bit more receptive when you're shooting the puck and receiving stick handling.
But I imagine feel is just important to any hockey player. I'm a forward, but I must, I like the 1S, so it's about what feels good to me?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, they market it towards a forward or towards a defenseman, but it's really all comes down to personal preference. I mean, I was a defenseman, I used a 1X. So if you're a defenseman, you like to get quick snapshots off from the blue line, then that might be the stick for you.
Great. If you're looking for hockey gear, or any other gear for that matter, come down to see Paul here at Sports Etc.
We're at the Perazzo Rink in East Boston, Massachusetts. I'm with Heath Gordon, who is the Director of Hockey for FMCI Sports. Heath, today we're going to talk about checking. Kids cannot wait to get into checking, but it's so important to remember those fundamentals.
Correct. Checking doesn't just start at the bantam age. It actually starts when they first start playing hockey at the mite level. So the progressions that we're going to take them through, angling, stick checking, and then we'll move into full body checking.
So when you say it doesn't start at the bantam age, that's because of the angling and the stick checking.
Correct.
Full body checking starts at bantam. Understanding the fundamentals and the basis of checking can start as early as mites.
Yeah, angling is a huge part of the game. You're dictating where you want them to go just by using your stick.
Let's take a look.
The first part of the progression would be angling, forcing an opponent to go in the desired direction. This would normally be towards the boards or to the outside. The second part of the progression would be stick check. The defensive player attempts to lift the opponent's stick on the shaft near the blade enough to sweep the puck and gain possession, separating offensive player from the puck. The third part of the progression, body checking. A player's attempt at gaining the advantage on the opponent with the use of the body. Same rules apply as before. In this instance, the checker will use the force of the body to gain the advantage over the opposing player. Take checking out of the equation. You use angling from right when you start at the mite level. You're dictating where the play goes at all times, and it's just by using your stick. And as you move up into the bantam level and the checking realm, just by using your stick and angling a player properly, it's going to put you in a really good position for a body check.
And of course we know the point of body check is to remove the player from the puck, and
correct.
That clearly happens when
Correct.
done properly.
Yep. The main point of body checking is to separate the man from the puck always.
Hey, we got to compete harder in our zone. Let's go.
With the 2017 Dream season behind him, Arlington High School head coach John Mazzori had his work cut out for him in 2018. Losing a large part of his state championship team to graduation, he knows that challenges lie ahead.
We're all right, Coach.
John's a mastermind. He does a ton of video, has the kids over the house. He's a good tactician, and John gets the kids in here and they're well prepared. The practices are really upbeat.
If I'm coming out on my backhand side, that's when I'm going to use the net a lot.
At practice, he's more loose. He's nice. He's funny. He cracks jokes and everything. And then when it comes to the game time, he's locked in.
Cut in, Co! Cut in, Co! Move it!
He's a great coach. He's a defense-first type of person. He learned from Coach Burns, who he talks about all the time.
I played for Eddie and graduated in 1985. When I was a freshman in high school, I probably knew I was going to be a coach. I was enthralled by the first meeting we had with him when he started diagramming plays. The next day in school, I spent the whole day just diagramming plays and breakouts and putting myself in situations on paper like, okay, if the other team's forechecking this way, how do we get out?
O'Connell has on his back, it centers it, and a goal by Mazzori!
Mazzori was a top scorer during his days at Arlington High. But when it came time for college, he did not have a lot of interest.
Princeton kind of was the only, school that hung around me. And, they weren't totally sold on me. But at the end, I think they had a lot of recruits fell apart for them. And so they invited me to go down there and play, and that was, turned out to be an incredible experience. But Mr. Burns had a lot to do with that. He told me when I committed to Princeton, he goes, you go down there, you'll dominate.
He ended his college career as Princeton's all-time leading scorer, a record that still stands today. But as far as the next level, his options were once again limited.
I could have went over and played in Italy, but I just couldn't see myself staying over there for 6 months. So I tried to make my ranks through the minors. I thought I had some more traction, some more deals, but it was such a business that I thought I'd start in the American League and never really did. And in pro hockey, once you get slated and pigeonholed, you're finished. So I kind of realized that after my first year, and I really enjoyed just playing then and saying like, hey, I'm here, I'm just gonna enjoy it. And I had a ball. I mean, I was playing in the home of the Johnstown Chiefs, which is movie Slapshot, in that rink, for one of the Hanson brothers. He was one of my coaches, and he was absolutely hilarious. And we had a really good time in Johnstown. It was fun.
Upon retirement, Missouri, like his mentor Ed Burns, became a hockey coach. First at Winchester High, where he coached for 14 years before returning home to where it all began.
Get your heads on swivels and pick guys up, all right?
I don't think at age 50 now I bring the same energy I brought at like 26, 27 when I started coaching, but I still can do it. I still get out there. I still try to practice with them. Sometimes I set power plays up just so I can be in the one-timer spot, you know, in practice. And I think some of the kids catch on to it now when they've been around a few years.
John is like a little kid himself. He can joke with them, but he can also be very serious with them. But he's very fair.
Guys, don't get into it with them. It's part of the deal. You got to be able to handle it and not act like that.
I like teaching them, and I think this is a fun time to coach kids because they can really be shaped as gentlemen at this age.
The next thing that's unacceptable is after the whole thing's over, they got more energy than us. They're buzzing around flying.
Not only did Missouri win a state championship in Arlington, but that team included his freshman son, Anthony. Now in his sophomore year, Anthony just recently scored the game-winning goal in his father's 300th coaching win.
Right up! Punch! Middle!
Outside the rink, he's still coaching me. He does a great job with that. I might not like it all the time, but he's teaching me to get through the tough times, and he's being tough on me, so when I go play at the next level, hopefully I can.
Hey, just get the puck, get back up top, and don't walk and take a wrist shot into a guy's pads.
Coaching Anthony, and hopefully, God willing, I'll get to coach my next son, is special for me. It's not so special for him. Anthony bears the brunt of it. It was only a game or two where he said on the bench to me, why don't you give it to the other guys? And, you know, the coaches know that the strategy has always been if I'm hard on Anthony, I'm being hard on everybody. Last year was hard for him, but man, what a gentleman he was. And he earned his time, should have been playing, and he still took some heat for that. And he's like, Dad, it doesn't even bother me.
I definitely look up to him as a player. I watched some of his videos. He was a small guy. He played big, but you'll never hear the end of it. You know, he's always talking about his Princeton days and the days he played in the ECHL and what happened. And he's always got a different story every time for every situation to make us a little more comfortable. And it's just cool. He makes us feel really comfortable as a team, and he's always got that sense of humor that helps us along in tough times.
Stay with us. When we come back, we'll meet a Spy Ponder whose time playing hockey is helping him to deal with a tragic loss.
Hi, I'm Brett Peterson with Acme Sports, and welcome to Ask the Advisor. Our question today comes from Karen in Scarborough, Maine. What is the NCAA clearinghouse and what do I need to know about it? Hi Karen, I get this question a lot from both players and parents. The clearinghouse certifies the academic and amateur credentials of all college-bound student athletes who wish to compete in the NCAA Division I or II athletics. I advise that you start this process sooner than later. The clearinghouse is there to ensure all players are eligible. But if you don't start this process until later, you run the risk of having an eligibility problem. Staying on top of this process will ensure a smooth transition to the college game for the athlete.
They're going to go here, here, and here all day. We just go boom, boom, boom. We're going to get transition.
When I coached in Winchester, it was a little bit different than coaching here in Arlington because Winchester, there weren't as many hockey people. And that was a terrific community with terrific people. And we went through a lot of difficult things there, and we did a lot of bonding. Here in Arlington, there's more kids who, you know, right now I'm coaching a bunch of my teammates' kids.
One of those legacy kids is sophomore Drew Maltesta.
My dad is best friends growing up with Coach Missouri, and he tells me stories all the time about playing hockey, playing on his line, and it's awesome to play with his son, Anthony, one of my best friends as well.
Maltesta knows all about the history and tradition of Arlington hockey. His number 84 has special meaning.
My dad graduated in 1984, so I kind of wanted to carry on his legacy, so I was quick to jump on it.
So Drew Malatesta was a freshman last year. He's a really skilled guy. He's probably our best playmaker, one of our best players with the puck as a sophomore. And he took minutes last year, even as a freshman. But, you know, Drew has been through a lot.
3 years ago, tragedy struck the Maltesta family.
My sister passed away to soft tissue sarcoma, cancer, and it was kind of a bad time in the family for us, but I kind of used hockey to take my mind off it.
I think I went out and skated with him like a couple days afterwards, and we just had to cheer him up. And I think the hockey team definitely helped him do that, and hockey is definitely something that is helping him through this.
All my teammates, they've always just picked me up if I'm having a bad day. They've always carried on her legacy as well, wearing the stickers on their helmets and stuff. Just great friends.
You can never dream of that happening to one of your best buddies, and my whole family knew Catherine. She was a very beautiful, very nice, very friendly, always says hi to you, and I feel like, you know, you can still see it bothers him sometimes, and I try to help him through those moments.
His father was my line mate in high school for 3 years, and we've been doing the Catherine Malatesta game ever since, honoring her every year.
Right, Malatesta low angle.
Last year's Catherine Malatesta game was very special to all who were there.
If somebody asked me what my highlight was from last year, most people think it was the Garden game. My highlight last year was in the Catherine Malatesta game as a freshman. Drew won the player of the game.
We donate a lot of money to the Cancer Foundation, and so I know she's always watching down on me, so I always try to carry her legacy on as well.
Stay with us for more New England Hockey Journal after the break.
I'm here with Joe Caligieri at Stadium Performance in Dedham, Massachusetts. Joe, today I understand we're going to see a lot of jumping.
Definitely. You know, at the NHL Combine or any similar combine, they'll teach you to jump high once. At Stadium Performance, we want you to jump high multiple times.
Why is that important?
The one equation we know is fact. All collegiate coaches, USA Hockey professional coaches know, if you jump higher, you will run faster. And if you run faster, you will skate faster.
Let's go take a look.
As a progression to jumping upright, the shuttle MVP allows us to progress eliminating gravity. So we're going to have Phil do single leg jumps with the eccentric and concentric relationship. We'll have Phil do 6 reps, right, explode and decelerate. Jump, Phil, 6 times, triple flexion at the top, triple extension at the bottom, 6 reps, decelerating going down and accelerating going up top. When dealing with adolescent hockey players, we like to get rid of the power clean and replace it with a high box jump. This allows us to achieve full hip extension through the explosive stage of the full extension. We're going to have Courtney approach the box jump. She's going to achieve explosion through full hip extension and land with her butt above her knees. Excellent. That was fairly easy, so we'll have her progress to a higher box, okay? With the higher box, we're going to ask the same of her. Full hip extension as she accelerates, and when she decelerates, we'll have her keep her butt above the knees. Courtney, here we go. Excellent. All right, from a single leg functional standpoint, we like to tie everything together from all the foundation movements we've done so far. We're gonna have Katie start in a triple flexion position, all right? Right knee up, Katie, okay? She's gonna go into a donkey kick position, explode up concentrically, and jump laterally into the crane position, all right? The lateral subsystem is in play right now. The lateral subsystem is all the muscles down here that help stabilize the knee and the hip to prevent the ACL tears and the labral issues, okay? So we're going to triple flexion right now, donkey kick, explode up, stabilize, excellent. One more time, Katie. We come down, triple flexion, triple extension, donkey kick, up, good, perfect. The key to the endurance broad jump is exploding for full hip extension, landing with the butt above the knees, and incorporating the heel strike for eccentric contractions.
Great stuff, Joe. Thank you. If you want to learn more about getting faster and stronger, check out the folks at Stadium Performance.
Massey comes up to the red line and then dumps it down, takes a heavy hit. There's trouble. Oh, there's a collision in to the right of the Belmont net, and the Arlington player knocked off the puck. But out in front.
Didn't 12 just come off, Coach? You gotta have white and red ready.
We lost a lot of great players from last year. Definitely had the championship hangover. We've got all new guys playing all new roles, and we haven't really been able to figure out who should fit where until like a week or two ago. And now we kind of think we have the pieces of who should fit what role, and I think that's what makes a team.
It was definitely difficult in the beginning part because we lost 11 players, and those were our big 11 players, and none of us are playing the same minutes as we used to, and none of us are in the same leadership roles as we used to. So it was difficult to get the top half of the team and bring the bottom half up.
And that's not just the kids, the coaches. The coaches have to do a good job saying, how do I best utilize this player to get the most out of him? Especially when you're coaching a public high school. How do I take a player and maximize his potential so that he can contribute one piece of the pie to winning? So we knew it would take a little bit. We've played some heavy competition early in the season, and they've done a good job, and now we're kind of on the other side of it.
And once again, the Spy Ponders are led by a group of players who have foregone the lure of Massachusetts Catholic or independent school hockey to stay home and play for their town.
Seniors last year, a lot of them could have went to prep schools, but they decided to stay together as friends and go to a state championship. And it's the same kind of thing here, especially our sophomores and a little bit of the juniors want to stay together as friends and just compete all the time.
Another shot, goal!
I've been friends with all of them since I was in elementary school. Being able to look across the locker room and saying, wow, it's pretty cool.
The school system is strong from kindergarten through 12. And I think that's why a lot of the kids stay home.
My dad, my grandfather played here, and now me, and it's everything, you know. Just to wear the A on the chest, it's an honor.
It's incredible. It's an incredible feeling to come out every day, play in front of people that you know, and you see the faces that you see around town. It's crazy.
The Pounders have scored.
Experience of high school hockey, especially in your town, can't be traded. Look, I was fortunate to play pro hockey, you know, every level but the NHL. If you asked me to play one more game, I'd want to play for Arlington High in the Garden.
The Massachusetts Super 8 tournament begins in March. Check out some of the best high school hockey in the nation. We'll see you next time on New England Hockey Journal.
Come on, Russo. Who is it, me? Here we go. Here we go, Jay.